Evening all. Another vlog for you. So this is day 8. I've not long come home from work. My parents instantly demanded to talk to me, so that was always fun. I won't bore you with details, but suffice it to say, it wasn't particularly fun. But anyway, so today is all about more of my hobbies, basically. Um, so yeah, basically I have too many to list. But the main ones I'm into is obviously Warhammer, or Wargaming rather, because that's a nice broad cover-all title for all the various games I play, all the models I like. Um, that was yesterday, and I will dip back into it for various bits and pieces as time goes on over the challenge. Um, Today, on the other hand, is all about Nerf guns. Yeah, so I collect Nerf blasters. Technically, yeah. So point of addendum there. I said I collect Nerf guns. That is incorrect. I collect Nerf blasters. So it's just sort of to protect us any further from any sort of any legal comeback. You know, if you go around talking about guns and sort of like, oh yeah, I picked up this gun the other week and all the rest of it. When you're walking around with your mates, a copper catches that. Ah no, we'll follow them and get yourself into trouble. So it's safer to call them blasters than guns. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to go through very quickly some of my collection. I've basically got a box that's about 6 foot long, a foot wide, and about 2 foot high, and that's full of blasters and darts and Nerf related paraphernalia. And I still got some here, and I ran out of space, so I basically kept the ones that I was most likely to use or to want to have close at hand. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here, switch the camera around, and then we'll take a look at the blasters I've got laid out here. Okay, so to start things off, what we have in front of us is a N-Strike Elite Alpha Trooper, also known in the nerfing community as an EAT or EAT, simply because that was the initials of Elite Alpha Trooper. It's got a 25 round drum which came from a Rampage, which was launched around the same time, maybe a little earlier than the blaster, and that is a old N-Strike Raider stock, simply because it's the nicest stock that Nerf do currently, with the possible exception of the Lightning Storm, but I don't have that stock. So anyway, it's effectively a pump action shotgun. So you can see we have the priming bar, which you put back and then back forward to fire. You've got the 25 round drum, like I said. You've got the little eject handle there, so you prime it back, eject, and the drum falls out. Obviously you've got the trigger, and there's a couple of sling points, and it does have a black bandolier sling thing on it, so it hangs down the front of my belly, so I can have my hands free to interact with things during game settings, during war, whatever. I need to get a bigger bandolier basically, because that one is ever so slightly too small. But yeah, so that is what we call, that is my primary blaster. That is what I will be using the most. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this to one side, and then I will show you the blaster I was waving a few seconds ago. So this is my current secondary, or one of them. It's Rey's blaster from The Force Awakens. So they did a blaster for Rey and they did a blaster for Han Solo, and I prefer this one. So my current plan is to modify it, which is something I'll go into on another video. The video will be too long. But yeah, so it's a simple pistol. It's got a 4 dart internal storage. If I prime it, or if I can prime it, you can see inside there's darts. So all we do is we slide the slide forward and we shoot, just like that. So yeah, as I say, this will eventually get modified and repainted and all that good stuff. But as it is, it's still a very nice holsterable pistol. I am working on a leather holster for it as well. So that's my secondary, I think we shall call it. I also have a couple of other blasters that I like to keep nearby, if not on me, when I go to war. The first one is this, which is a rough cut 2x4. As the name indicates, it's got 8 darts, and it will fire 2 at a time. So you have 2 rounds of 4. The way you do that, you slide it back, you prime it as you would normally, slide back and forward, and then you pull the trigger all the way back. That will let loose 2 darts. However, if you only squeeze the trigger back ever so slightly, that will release 1 dart at a time. But yeah, that normally hangs by a nice big red carabiner off my belt, so it's down here. But yeah, cracking little blaster, lots of fun to use, and it will fire a great spread as well. Yeah, my tertiary is this, which is a Busby Panther. So it's not a Nerf blaster, but it's still counted under the same sort of banner. It's an air-powered blaster. All these blasters before were spring-powered. This, however, is air-powered, so it's got a little air tank inside. The white handle here, you pump that repeatedly until you can't pump it anymore. So I usually go to about 10 pumps, and then you pull the trigger, and it shoots in excess of 100 feet. I stood with my back to my conservatory doors a couple of weekends ago, and I fired it, and it went past my garage door. So I was thoroughly impressed with it. I've yet to use the thing in anger, but yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite things. And it's sort of it's almost would rescue in a house fire situation type of blaster. The rest of these I can replace easily. That one, not so much. But yeah, it's got what we call a coupler on the front, because it's got one shot, but then that's all you've got to do is take the barrel out, rotate it through 180 degrees, put it back in, and you've got a second shot. But yeah, so this one is a PETG barrel. So if you look there, there's a little clear section, and then there's a piece of brass which is sort of to hold the dart tight. But yeah, so that's that, and I always keep this double strike in my back pocket no matter what happens. But yeah, so that's, like I said, just some of my blasters. I will be doing another video at a later date with my box in the attic, and just go through and just to show you the scale of my madness. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Alright, so that was just less brief than I wanted it to be. Look into some more of my hobbies. Like I said, I'm part of several sort of nerfing groups on Facebook. Nerf Modders Welcome and Nerf UK BST. And there is a forum called BritNerf, which I'm a regular occupant on. And that sort of gives me a lot of help and advice, and it's great for arranging local events, so you can get together and throw and shoot darts at each other. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here, and I will catch you guys on the morrow. Have yourselves a good evening.